I studied T-level business and management, and I decided to choose it. I chose it really late in the game actually. I was originally applied to do A-levels and kind of go down that route because that was sort of what was pushed by my secondary school. But then over sort of like the year 11 summer and the independence of that, I kind of found that sixth form wasn't really what I wanted, and I wasn't really passionate about any of my other A-levels apart from business. And I knew I wanted to do business at university, but the only thing stopping me kind of from going to college was not being able to go to university. But then I spoke to some people, found out I could still go to university through a T-level, and it's the equivalent to doing 3 A-levels. And then literally on my first day of A-levels, I was like emailing my college leader asking if I could come in and do the A-levels, the T-level, which I did. In college, day-to-day I'd sort of be a 9 till 3, like kind of like a typical school day, but I'd be doing different classes and stuff, and they were a lot more like independent, I found, than being in secondary school. Like when I was in secondary school, it was very much like sit and listen to a teacher talk, whereas when I was in college, I found it was a lot of like sitting on computers with a teacher kind of like guiding you through it. And then on a Monday, and then that's what to Wednesday, I'd do my T-level placement at Horseman, which is the military defence manufacturer in Bath, and that would be very much like going in and kind of literally working like an office job. Aside from like the placement aspect, I did actually, it's gonna sound geeky, I did really enjoy the last project we did. So that was the occupational specialism, which is a 2-month project, and it ended up, the case study we did was related to fashion, and that's something I'm really interested in. But not even just that, I think I found the actual product itself, because it's something that you was very independent, you could get very stuck into, there was a lot involved. I think doing that and sort of looking at it at the end and being like, I did that 28,000 words later was like a real big achievement, and nothing I've really done anything like it before compared to like doing exams. 100%, because I think having somewhere that you can put what you learn in class into practice. So like for example, in our first year, one of the modules was people, and that was really like HR sort of heavy. So then I went to my line manager at my placement and was like, is there any way I could do a little bit more to do with that, since I was kind of in projects management and I wanted to kind of, that was something I really struggled with. I think having somewhere where I can put that, what I'm taught in class, into the real world and see how different businesses apply it, helped to kind of like develop my understanding further, and I continue to do that over the placement. So I think kind of communicating with your managers and asking like, can I do these different things, the things you struggle with, would definitely help. I think being in the placement environment and doing the work placement has given me a lot of professional skills that like people my age wouldn't have. Like Excel was used everywhere, sadly, but being taught that not only in class but being able to use it in the work placement, and like even just little things like emailing. Like a lot of my friends, they'll have me write their emails for them because they just don't have a clue on how to like write professionally. So I think all those skills kind of, it's literally like you're just being taught how to be career ready. I think being part of the T-level community, I to be honest, I like to talk about my T-level, even though it does sound geeky. I like to talk about what I did, because it's so niche. Like before I even starting my T-level, I didn't know what it was until year 11 summer, like when I'd already applied to A-levels, everything like that. I think being able to spread the message about such an underground but important qualification. I mean, I'm 18 years old and I've got some experience that I didn't even think I'd have at the end of university, let alone now, let alone at 16 years old. I think it's really important to like talk about T-levels, because like, it's so unrecognised. Like I go into university and nobody really knows what it is. I'm like, oh, I did a T-level, and they're like, what's that? And then I tell them and they're like, oh wow, because I kind of got the work experience of an apprenticeship, the qualifications for A-levels, and the freedom of college. So I pretty much got the best of all worlds. Like I was winning compared to sweating in a classroom over 9 exams. If I could sum up my T-level journey in one word, I'd say eye-opening. I realised a lot of things throughout that sort of I didn't even think were about. So I'm currently studying business management at Bristol University. So obviously like my T-level gave me the UCAS points to get to there, but also all the things I've done alongside university over the past couple months. So winning the T-level award, all the different work experience opportunities I've had, I wouldn't have got those if I didn't pursue the T-level. I think it's a bit of both. I think going to college is like there's a bit of a stigma around going around college versus A-levels. Like even from like my family, I said to my mum, was like on my first day sixth form, I was like, Mum, I think I'm going to drop out and go to college. And she was like, even the word drop out as well, she was like, you're not. And I think I had a friend as well, and she was very set on going to college, and she was much more intelligent than me, like she was very clever, but all the teachers were kind of pushing her to do A-levels. But I think teachers don't realise, and I didn't even realise, and literally no one realises, you can still do the exact same route. I mean, I think, to be honest, dropping out of sixth form and moving to college was the best decision I ever made. Like I wouldn't have the work experience I've got now. I wouldn't have the industry experience. I wouldn't have the connections, all the networking things I've done, all the awards I've done. I wouldn't have had that if I did A-levels. I'd have 3 A-levels, but I'd have nothing to put alongside that. My personal statement would have been a lot more empty if I didn't have all the other things I did. Yeah, 100%, I think. Because before I started college, I wasn't not academic, but I wasn't academic. Like I'd always get kind of like the top percentage of the grades, but never be the best. And I never really had anything that I was sort of like really good at. Like I wasn't really sporty or anything, but then I was always told like kind of in school like, oh, you're so chatty, aren't you? And I think going into a workplace and doing all my different placements and stuff and seeing how being chatty can actually help you in the professional world, I kind of started to see that as more of a skill and find ways I could use that, like public speaking events, stuff like that. I think it really improved my confidence in like just my future, like how I can use the sort of stuff that I didn't think was that important in the day-to-day world.